how I think of law of attraction and how I go about that is putting myself in situations to win. Right? Being present, making sure I come and do this. Right? Making sure that I am in networking and making sure I'm having conversations and making sure I'm showing up.
Welcome to Leaf Nodes, the podcast that helps your business take root and grow. I'm Adria Marshall, seasoned business owner and speaker.
And I'm Sydney Mafuka, artist, illustrator, and small business owner.
Join us each week as we take you on a journey through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. We'll dive into everything from social media strategy to protecting your business.
We'll even answer your burning questions such as, do I need a business plan? Should I form an LLC? Where should I promote my business? And so much more.
Together with our guests, we'll break down these topics into actionable steps, helping you build the business of your dreams.
So whether you're just starting or you're looking to scale, we got you covered.
So go grab your notebooks, your favorite beverage, and cozy up to receive practical insights and inspiration here on Leaf Notes. Let's go make your business dreams a reality. Hey, Eric.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for I was waiting for my invite.
Yeah, we're so excited. There's so much I want to talk to you about. So, y'all, I know Eric from back in the day. We used to work together at Cox, right?
Cox.
So crazy.
That was a long time ago.
I'm about to say, how long ago was that?
12, maybe.
Was it that long ago?
At least 12.
We should. So, have y'all met before?
Yeah, we met just now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I have known Eric for a long time. So, Eric, this is not about me, it's about you. So talk about your journey to when I met you, which was a project manager at Cox. Let's talk about how you got there, and then we're going to talk about what's happened since then.
Okay. So, yes, I started in the military.
That's right.
I was a clinical officer came out of school, ROTC, got commissioned as an officer, and basically went to the middle of the woods and gave you Facebook at the time, MySpace, aged myself.
Yeah.
And loved it. That's taught me that leadership, really work ethic, doing what it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
A lot of that. Active duty 4 years, and I went to AFLAC down in Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
And was kind of business systems analyst. Are we geeking out here?
A little bit.
So I was a business systems analyst.
Because y'all know nothing about that business systems.
That's right. I was writing functional requirements,
Don't get confused with the technical.
I'm not technical. Right. So, all of those type things, and came up here to go to grad school at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
So I left AFLAC, went to Tech. And
I know you went to Tech.
For grad school.
You smart. Or what now?
I know how I have work ethic.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. And I tell the students that I coach a lot now too. It's like, you have to have some kind of aptitude. However, the work ethic gets you.
This is why we're on the same page. And I know you're supposed to still doing your intro, but that is so true. Because I never thought that I was the brightest person in the room, but I can outwork you though.
Exactly.
Right.
You're not like to outwork me.
Right.
I know I'm not the smartest person.
Right.
I don't want to be the smartest
person. At least I know it. Because there are people who think they are. Right.
And then they don't work hard.
I
know my deficiencies.
Yeah.
So because I know my deficiencies, I have to work even more.
Yeah.
The older I get, the less I work on those deficiencies and more work on the things I'm good at.
Yes, we learned that.
When you're early on, you try to be well-rounded.
Right.
And being well-rounded makes you a good entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can go really deep into something, but you have to have a breadth of knowledge to be able to, make some things happen.
Right.
Yeah. So I went AFLAC, came up here with the Tech. Did some kind of contract work for a little bit to see where I wanted to be. Then I went to a U.S. bank and worked for a company called Elevon, which is a subsidiary of U.S. Bank.
All right.
And did some mergers and acquisition stuff, which was really cool.
Okay.
Integrating different company into our infrastructure from a technical perspective and from a process perspective. Then I started doing consulting.
Okay.
And went in the consulting route, and that's when we met.
Yeah.
And my first client. So Cox was my first client.
No way.
Yeah. So I had just joined that firm, and when I met you.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And that got me to to a lot of share. And it was one story I was thinking about you earlier, and I was like, I always loved how you manage your teams and how you led your teams and how process focused you were, how people focused you were, you know. And we had a lot of, you know, underperforming teams and good teams.
Right.
And you always had a good team. And I felt like I always had a good team too.
Yeah.
And I knew I always wanted to make sure I came close to your numbers.
Oh,
right. You know, it was like, all right, I know Adrian gonna come with it. Yeah, so I know Adrian gonna come with it with that. So let me make sure I had my ducks in a row because you pushed me, you know, in some things that I felt like I was a good leader.
Yeah.
But you had intentionality about your leadership structure. And then I was like, well, what was that? And I was like, retrospectives.
Yeah.
You were really always strong on retrospectives and saw the value of that and helped those that ritual very in high regard. And I wasn't one of those, right? I just thought it was a check mark that you did.
But you were the metrics though, and I used to envy you about the metrics. You knew the numbers.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I felt that give and take that we would give for each other. I think it made our the company stronger as a whole, our team stronger. And I think it sharpened us too.
It did.
And that's kind of why we bonded. And look at us as 10, 12 years later in the positions that we are, you know, on this podcast.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So let's fast forward through and sitting out. You have anything to say yet?
No.
Okay.
You did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so much. So what led? Because I was in shock because I left. So I left Cox for MailChimp, and we kind of lost touch for a little bit, right? Then I don't know how we linked back up, but I found out that basically around the same time that I started my company, you went and started. Yeah, he's been copying me for years. So what actually led you to form your company? You should tell everybody about your company.
So Talley and Twine, we're the biggest black-owned watch company in the world.
In the world.
In the whole world.
That's amazing.
Top flight security in the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so D2C company, e-commerce, all of those. My college roommate actually started the company, Randy Williams. He's the CEO and founder of Talley and Twine. He started 10 years ago, out of his bedroom, out of his house, with a Kickstarter campaign.
Oh, okay.
$20,000 on the Kickstarter campaign with a vision. He created his watch, created design. He's a branding genius, you know. Started finding his traction, took him a few years, found some product market fit, and got to the point a few years later was, I need some help. I don't know what I need. I don't know what I need help with. Sounds like you know what you're talking about. And we've always, that was my best friend too, right? So we've always, throughout iterations of the watches, his design, giving him feedback, how you structure company, all of those type things. But, you know, you also kind of let people do their thing. So once I kind of got into it and start really putting some frameworks, you know, in place and infrastructure in place and growing a team and, you know, having deeper relationship with manufacturers and some of those type things that really poured some fuel to the fire that he already had simmering there. And we just started growing like crazy. 2019, 2020, 2021.
You know, how about good years?
That's right. Those are the good years.
Oh my goodness.
Those were the good years.
Go ahead. Go on.
I don't even want to talk about it after that. Let's just
So I think that we really started talking when it was like, right during COVID or after COVID?
Yeah. I think it was right before
Was it right before COVID?
I don't know. I saw you post something.
Okay.
And, you know what it was?
What was it?
I was doing so I gave you my professional career, right? I've always had an entrepreneurial side too. Right? One of those entrepreneurial ventures that I had while I was working as a consultant was I was consulting a hair care company.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a hair care. They had a hair care brand called Basic, which was like a professional brand. And then they also had a manufacturing plant.
Okay.
Right. So I was their business advisor trying to help them understand how much resources they need to put to the manufacturing versus how their sales structure and pricing and all of the other stuff with the actual product brand that they had, trying to help them get out of debt and all the kind of stuff that they had going on. and I saw you with EcoSlave.
Okay.
And I just was like, what is that? Like, I didn't, start doing some more research. I'm like, looks cool. Let's, you're an entrepreneur, right? So that I think led into us with passive conversation.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
interacting on LinkedIn and all that stuff. Because we was tight. We go out to lunch all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we were really tight-knit when we were at Cox.
Yeah.
So that then once I really learned what you were doing and understood, I was like, wow, she is really getting it. And then we start throwing out numbers to each other.
And they were like the same.
The same place.
And that's why I think that's why, in my perspective, why I admired you so much. Because I have high standards.
Yeah.
And your team at Cox were performing just like mine, but your process was totally, because I was all about people and you were all about numbers.
That's
I'm like, how is this working?
Right.
Like, you didn't know his last name.
That's right.
And I'm all about his business. Yeah, like he ain't following none of the processes that F had me following.
Yep.
None.
And but there's value in both of those.
There's value in both of them. Yeah.
Because I think some of those,
because I got blind spots because I get tied in with the people.
That's right.
And you all have a number. The numbers say
this.
Right.
I was like, love this person, but they're not performing based on the So how you resolve for that?
Yeah.
But no, I think we've always had a really tight bond, and even with our companies now.
Yeah.
Like we track the same. I'm looking at y'all too. Oh, she got all this over there. Engineers over here. She got this, she got that. And then we react same way.
Same way. And like when we went and had lunch with the last month, you made me so mad. Why I went to lunch about to brag on Corey, my shiny new project manager. And guess who was at the lunch table with him?
She was sitting right there.
You had a project? Yeah!
In person. Why ain't I here for a person?
So like, where are the cameras? Like, what is going on at this point? So it's just amazing, right?
It is. It's an amazing journey.
Yeah, for sure.
And we relate so well to each other because we know both sides of it.
Yeah.
And there's just certain things, the level of entrepreneurship that we are is very rare. Mm-hmm. It's very, very rare. Mm-hmm. So you don't get a lot of cross-pollination.
Yeah.
And a natural cross-pollination too. It's not forced.
Right.
We have a history.
Yeah.
So we can share our numbers.
Yeah.
You don't meet somebody off the street at networking.
It's open.
It's open. Right. And we don't always have to see each other in the best light.
Right. It don't even matter.
Right.
Right.
So that's what makes that bond unique.
Yeah.
And where I hold it high in my regards of my connections. Right? Yeah. Because there are not many people like us.
There are not many people like us. Like even because we had our little group too where we were all be together and it's still just me and Eric.
Yeah.
We the only ones to keep up.
Yeah,
right?
Because we hold value into this. And we see this our content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
This is our continuous improvement.
You're right.
Even
and we'll be so proud.
Right? Yeah, it is. I really bought into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I still do that to this day.
Yeah.
Right. I probably don't do as retros as religiously as I should. Yeah. But we still have a sense of continuous improvement.
Right. With all that being said, so let's talk a little bit about the ups and downs of small business ownership, right? I know this right now. Why is it so hard?
It's hard because you're under-resourced.
That's why it's so hard.
You're under-resourced.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the net of it.
Mm-hmm.
And resources is money, it's people, it's knowledge, it's relationships, it's time. Probably number one, right? Now we find hacks, right?
Yeah,
and that's what keeps us. Because now, we're small, and I still like the small business, but I feel like we're growth. Mm-hmm. We're growth. We're mature enough that we're growth companies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we've solved some of those time. Yes, we always are individually constrained with time, but we multiply our time by the people that we hire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We multiply companies' time
by
the people that we hire.
Right.
So we kind of get over those things, and but the hardest thing to get over is really capital resources.
Yeah.
Because you can't really take even one thing is just momentum. Mm-hmm. Right? It's just brand recognition, customer acquisition, just getting people to buy your product. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to preface everything we say that when I talk about companies, you've mastered that. Right? We talk about growth companies. You've already found your product market fit. Now it's time, to go. Right. So those are struggles that I'm talking about. And when I talk about capital in that situation, the capital refrains you from taking advantage of opportunity that's presented.
Yep. Right.
And that hinders your growth.
Right.
Right. We figured out how to operate. We figured out how to manage our cash flow and stay where we are.
Right.
We can do this for years on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Begins that next level.
Get to that next level and next hop. It's hard to do the same thing you're doing now and get another result.
Yeah.
Right. So there is a mechanism that has to be input into your company to give you that opportunity to grow.
So what do you do? Asking for a friend.
I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Big ball of steel. You try to, something gonna pop.
Right.
It's the endless optimism.
Yeah. And that's what it is. I mean, see, we're talking about that too, the power of positive thinking and law of attraction.
Yes. Law of attraction is real.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about law of attraction.
Tell me, because I have read The Secret twice now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's so maybe I don't know that. Maybe you can educate me on the actual law of attraction.
But no, you go.
So, but how I think of law of attraction and how I go about that is putting myself in situations to win. Right? Being present, making sure I come and do this. Yeah. Right. Making sure that I am in networking and making sure I'm having conversations and making sure I'm showing up.
Got you.
Now, what that does, it attracts people to me.
Right.
And then once it attracts people to me, they become force multipliers for me.
Got you.
So now they're putting me into positions to win.
And you are a master networker. Like when I meet Eric for lunch, I just know, like, if it's supposed to be an hour, make it an hour and a half. Because 30 minutes is just going to be people passing by,
Especially the gather spot.
Man, he knows everybody. But yeah, you've always been really, really good at that. So I mean, you mean about being, and you were talking about this too, wanting to get yourself more out there at different events. Being known in the industry, in the space, people know you, then they think of you when opportunities arise, right?
They think of you when opportunities arise.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with, because I can't say names that are put out here, but a huge amusement park.
Okay.
Right? And that relationship came with someone that I did something else with. Yeah. From the Orlando Magic deal. Right. So, and they thought of me when it was time to do something. Right. So it's one of those force multipliers that continue to grow, and it's a snowball effect. Yeah. Right. When you see momentum, even, and our generation sometimes don't always lean in. We don't to social media. Oh, got you. Because we are the operators. We want to do. We don't always do a good job of telling people what we're doing. We don't. Right. We were talking about that. You remember I was talking to you about like the light box, right? So I was talking about the box that I made for all of us to get. No, I was talking to Jackson. Jackson's our photographer. Okay. I made this huge life-size box for us to take these photos in, right? And the photos came out fire and everything was great. I mean, there's like 3.5 feet by 3.5 feet. Okay. Took an entire week going to Home Depot. Oh, yeah. No, you told me about this. You told me about this. Yes. I didn't think about filming any of that. Yeah, you told me. Right? Because that's not how we think. Correct. I'm just going to build this box. That's right. Right? We're going to get in this box, and that's going to be it. That's the assignment. Right. And we don't think about social media and advertising marketing ourselves. None of that. And that's where people get their information from. Yep. And that is the new age of really networking. It really is. Right? So I've been leaning in. We talked both about leaning in, probably create some of this to lean into the exciting and stuff that we're doing. Yeah. Right? I think that is really valuable. And I've seen the more I put myself out there, the more opportunities come. Got you. I mean, and these are like real checks. Yep. That's come off of reminding people, you're out here. So, and having a sexy company also helps us. And it is sexy. I mean, the watches are so gorgeous. Yes, thank you. Yes. And then, I mean, and your products and your companies is sexy too. Thank you. Right? Thank you. It's, and it's sustainable.
Right.
Like that is huge. You know, that's not going anywhere. Then also how you go about your sustainability too. And how you even, your farms and how you source your stuff. And it's a new way of actually having a sustainable business at some sort of scale. Right? It's not like you're in the back growing your stuff, right? You have a network of things that you pull into to create a great product that you can send across the world.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's a good feeling, It makes you. I like doing things for the right reason. That's what gets me going. So that's so interesting. So you are so right. And it took me a long time because I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
So I don't really, and plus I work real hard, so it takes a lot of my energy, and especially when you're working in teams, you pour out a lot. So at the end of the day, the last thing I want to do is be at somebody's. I don't want to be nobody's event. I want to go home in the bathtub, But so many opportunities. Like for instance, I don't want to say too much, but we hopefully have a partnership at a really big event in Atlanta because of some two opportunities that we took advantage of. The person was like, "Oh, I remember you from so and so." It happens just that quickly, and I love the sustainable space too here in Atlanta, especially the Black sustainable spaces. It is tiny,
it is.
So you see the same people at every event, and so you can't help but to think of them.
Yeah, so that's right. That's right. And you also found a great niche in a crowded industry. Yeah. Right. I mean, the hair space is very.
We had to lay into values in order to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now that is a huge differentiator. Folks and we're talking about now. Wait till you scale this up that way. The barriers of entry are tough when you want to do sustainability. Yeah. But you started in a sustainable way. So just kind of scale that. Yeah. Instead of trying to get sustainable.
And I think that's going to help us in the long run, though. And I love it because we're literally planting seeds. So I love that. And I love that we started it. I love all the puns organically, because it was our value before it was a trend.
Correct.
And so now when people look for sustainable brands, we didn't hop on the bandwagon. We were like from the very beginning.
That's right.
So that's a good thing.
You're a sustainable native.
Yeah, exactly native, right? So, but let's talk about the law of attraction though for a second, like the real. So, and that's just the mindset of like energy attracts like energy. So a positive person, positive attitude will attract other positive people in that space. Yes, Sissy.
Yeah, because I'm not a pro or anything, but I got a lot of things to manifest, all right?
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I think it's also like working backwards, right? You see your vision. What can I do to get to this vision? What can I do to embody it? If Future Sid is a successful entrepreneur, what am I doing for myself to get myself there? And what does that version of myself look like? And what I can to sort of align with that frequency, not to sound too
but that's you've been reading the book.
No, I have not.
Really? Because you're saying all the right terms.
No, girl.
Look,
again, I have a lot of things. So that's how I see it. So it's kind of like a mix of like planning in my head, right? Because you're acting intentionally.
Exactly.
That's right.
To get to where you
That's right. Absolutely. Intentionality.
Yeah.
Is a thing a few things, right? So the vision is one thing. And then just doing something is another thing too. Right? Once you see that vision, you can work. But just do something.
Just do something. Right? Momentum.
The momentum. That's that build that momentum.
Yeah.
Just do the next thing. Just do the next thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get to that vision and it just seems so far away.
Yeah. You gotta break it down.
You gotta break it down. And it's tough to backwards plan because you don't know all the steps.
Yeah.
You just got to do that first thing.
Yeah.
And then do that second thing and that third.
That's what I think was Martin Luther King or somebody said something like, "You shine a light, you can only see 200 feet in front of you. Or car can only see 200 feet, but you trust that when you get that 200 feet, the next 200 feet is in there, right?"
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Or even when you think of I'll just put in the content creator thing because I'm kind of
absolutely
in that space. But when I'm thinking about, okay, what do all content creators have? hey, have like an Instagram or a platform. So what is my first step to create something?
That's right.
You know, I don't have to think about my niche
Right.
just yet, but that's like the first. So even like just knowing vaguely what you want can kind of help you know,
That's
okay,
right.
well, these are what these people have,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah.
Because I think there's this over, like, we put a lot of focus on trying to be so original,
Yes.
but there's a lot of people who have paved the way for us and that have done a lot of things right and maybe some things wrong, but they're all less like people that we can learn from,
Yeah.
right? So I think also just like, I think there's somebody that we all look up to, we all want to be like in some way. So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like allowing yourself to model yourself off of somebody else until you're ready to be different.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to master the whole before you can start niching down and understanding those things. But no, we should tell the entrepreneurs all the time you have aspirate brand, right? That you kind of look at and get some guidance from. See what worked or didn't work, right? That doesn't mean that you can follow everything that they do,
right?
But you at least see where they are,
yeah.
You know, beyond that 200 meter.
Like, have you ever dreamed of doing something and then you actually did and you realized it wasn't for you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because look, so I have this dream of one day living in a modern house, but now I know I need to go and like tour a modern house and be in there and be like, what did I actually live here? Because I'm fantasizing this. So I think, like you said, just doing something allows you to be like, I actually don't talk a lot. Maybe I should have a podcast. Even though I like listening to them.
That's right.
You know, maybe it's not for me.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I totally get just doing it refines that. I'm pretty sure stuff that you started out year one that you're not doing now.
No. At all.
It's a reason that you don't do it or do it.
Yes.
Because you experienced it.
Exactly. And I think, and that's why I see so many would-be entrepreneurs who won't take that first step. And I mean, if you don't, like, again, you got to experiment, right?
That's right?
Because if you don't get something out there that you're never going to learn, and then you'll, like, build up this fantasy, living this modern house to find out that you don't like the concrete floors.
That's right.
Now what do? You just start all the way over, right? Well, if you would have just done something, you just learn from it.
That's right.
I know it's scary, though. Go ahead.
It's scary. It's scary to start, but I think it's scary because we put a lot of pressure on starting.
Absolutely.
I think, like, what sometimes helps is, like, knowing that this is just you starting.
Yes.
Like, you have to start to get to somewhere great. And I think it's also, like, realizing that the people who are super successful in the industry, they started, they sucked.
Yeah.
And they learned from sucking. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're going to look back at the first thing that you do, whatever it is, and be like,
what?
It wasn't that good, but at the time you might have thought, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I think it's just perfectionism and getting over that and just knowing, like,
you know, Randy told me, because I was really very conscious, and Randy is my partner, and he was like, "But nobody cares. Nobody cares you messed up. Nobody cares it looks crazy. Nobody's even looking at you. How many followers you got? Like, you know,
That's
like, really, like,
right.
So, and you want to experiment now, even like getting a job. I was talking to one of the interns, and they were talking about, like, go interview with jobs that you kind of don't want.
Yeah.
Right? You know,
now's the time.
You need to get that practice. So then when you get that dream job or you get that dream opportunity, you're prepared for it.
Yeah.
Right? You get all the bad stuff out the way, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna always have some things that but you get to the point that you are self-focused now and not externally focused. Right? When you're worrying about what someone else is going to think, then it's like, externally focused. It's like, no, this is for me. This is what I want to give out to the world.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I want to show to the. This is my gift to you.
Yeah.
Right. It takes that pressure off.
It takes that pressure off, which is why we love this podcast. Because we don't have any followers, right? It's so great right now.
That's right.
Until we're at this, I was at an event the other day, and somebody was like, "Hey, I have a comment. I love the podcast that you and your daughter." Like, oh my God,
somebody is watching.
Somebody is watching, right? But yeah, it's so nice just to not have that pressure. And like when the cool thing is, me and Cindy love podcasts a lot, and they all say the same thing. You know, when they talk about how they began their YouTube channel, like, please don't go back and watch those first. They all say that, right? And so it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's like you said, just remembering that you're not really bad reporters.
That's right.
Like, really.
Right. That's right.
And sometimes that can also just help you just not focus on things being super perfect
Exactly.
either. Like just
Yeah.
throwing something out
Yep.
there and experimenting and not being afraid. Because I know that. So like a couple weeks ago, I started my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you know.
Step one.
Step one. I was so scared. You know what I mean? Like every little thing, like, oh my gosh, is the lighting right? Is the sound right? How do I got pimples all over my face or whatever, you know?
Yep.
No one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares. They just care about what you're talking
That's
about.
right.
So it's like when you think about that, it makes it a lot easier to just throw something out there. Like, imagine this. YouTube has been out since like 2008. If you go back to people who've been doing this for like a long time, you see their grainy little videos,
Right.
their old camera. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they started.
Yes.
They weren't thinking.
Right.
They weren't even thinking this was gonna make money.
That's
right.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yes.
It's a gift. It's a gift that
It
you want
is
to
a
give up to
gift.
the world.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So with that, more about the law of attraction
Mm-hmm.
is that we're supposed to hold on to even when things are sucking.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when the rubber meets the road. So I was telling Sydney what you're supposed to do is have like these cards, whatever, that will kind of thrust you back into a positive mindset, even when things are sucking, right? So basically affirmation, right? Those things we already know, right? And it's in like every major religion and all that. You know, you reap what you sow, think of positive things, all that. But really getting yourself into that positive mindset, so you can turn it around quickly and not wallow in it.
That's right. And that's that. I mean, that's that.
It's easier said than done, right?
It is. It is. I mean, yeah. So I've actually last year I rendered this young lady gave me some affirmation cards.
Yeah.
And I looked at those and they help. They do help.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not something I do all the time,
Mhm.
but it is something that you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
reflection is good too. And it's just like, hey, you asked for these problems too. And when I say, I was like, man, if 10 years ago, if you would have told me I had these problems, I would have been like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Stress is, it's management of stress. It's a lot of things. It's not always just one, right? We're people, right?
What do you do to manage stress? I don't mean to cut you off, but I got
What do I do to manage stress? I think I manage stress a lot better now than I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurial stress is different. I finally got to a place where I can manage entrepreneurial stress now.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurial stress is everything's on my shoulders,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If I don't do it, it won't get done.
It won't get done.
Or
If you fail, the whole family fails.
if I fail, I hope family fails. Yeah, I do feel that.
Yeah.
There's a lot into that one though.
Go ahead.
If I fail, the family fails. I'm not gonna fail far enough where the family is
Right.
gonna be.
Right. Right.
So that's that tweak in my
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
That no,
Yeah. Not gonna happen.
I go get a job right now
Yeah.
and take care of my family.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there's so many off ramps
Yeah.
to the family failure
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
me not working today is not going to destroy
Right. Because you got a backup plan. Yeah.
2 and 3 and 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Right? It won't be nice. Everybody won't be happy about it, but
We can be
we will
okay.
not be destitute.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of that, but that's one of those things. It's like taking that pressure off. It's
Yeah.
helped me deal with stress.
Yeah.
I have the time constraints.
Mhm.
That's a stressful thing. And then I just started prioritizing things, telling people no.
Mhm.
I'm a golfer, so that golf is my peaceful time.
That's good.
So that's my activity
Okay.
that I do, and I've started incorporating my kids in the golf a little bit more too,
That's
so I can
great.
share some of that time.
I'm sure
also.
your wife appreciates that too.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. And then so those are de-stressors for me. And sometimes I'm just like, no. I'm not doing nothing. I'm closing the laptop. I know I have 20 emails that's probably on fire, but nothing is gonna.
Right. What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that can happen?
Somebody doesn't need to watch.
Nobody's gonna die.
Nobody's gonna die.
And that's some of that military training too. That give me perspective. Talk about looking back at some things. In the military, you can get some life death situations if you mess some stuff up.
Yeah.
Right? But now it's like nobody's gonna die.
Mhm.
And the worst thing I can do, you know what I'm saying, from a company perspective, I'm not in that type of industry.
Right.
So just de-stressing some of those things,
Yeah.
not thinking too highly of yourself. So it's one thing starting out. It's one thing for us being where we are, that missteps or looking a certain way means more, where we are.
Yeah.
We
got more to lose, right?
More to lose, so that's also been conscientious too in how I move. But it makes me move less reckless.
Yeah.
But less reckless means less stress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about maturing too. I'm getting in my 40s. I'm 41 now.
Yeah.
For 2 years. So you start to think about things like that. Things start to slow down.
Yeah. So
those stress mechanisms become a little bit less, I think.
How do you, for me, if I could copy work, and I love working so much that I'll look up and I haven't seen my husband in 3 days. Like that can legit happen. How do you balance that?
So my wife and I were doing good with date nights and date nights and stuff like that. Then she started working too because we're entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm entrepreneur. So it's ebbs and flows, right? So that's another thing. Everything is gonna always be great, right? Everything is not always there. You're not always at your optimal, right? And it's some things go well, some things you put time to, the other things don't put time to, right?
Yeah.
Having one first and foremost, having the right partner is paramount.
Yeah.
Right. But being intentional about conversation and communication. We have our daily rituals that we do, make sure that we connect through those. When we go out with each other, that's our love language. Yeah. So we're intentional about doing things like that. And giving each other grace. Yeah. Too. It's hard. It's easier said than done too. And it's emotional dynamics. It's all kind of things that get brought into that. But I choose you today. Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff. I choose you today. Yeah. Right? As long as I keep that mindset and wake up tomorrow, ask me that same question. I'll give you an answer. Yeah. And 100% chance it's probably going to be I choose you today. Yeah. So you take some of that pressure off of life, has starting to like relieve my anxiety. Now I get in those modes where I'm just going, but that's a time thing. If it's a time thing, I can manage that. Right? I can manage that stress. I got this. I'm double booked. Right. I can manage that. Right. That emotional stress and some of those type things. Yeah. Deeper into your soul. Yeah, for sure. How do you relax? Let me ask you that. Well, what's your thing? So what I've started to do, and when I say this, it's gonna make so sense to you. I put it on the calendar. Yeah. 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 I put it on the calendar. I put my devotional on the calendar every day. My gym's on the calendar every 3 weeks. My nails are on the calendar. My bath time is on the calendar. It's all on the calendar because I know I'm gonna check it off. Yeah. Because if not, I will not prioritize myself. That's right. Yep. So I make myself a priority. And it feels good. I love doing it. You do it too? I just started doing that. I think maybe you told me to do that. I probably did. You did. And I started doing, you know what? It started when you told me to schedule, and I scheduled my my personal branding time. Oh, okay. So my personal branding. Yeah. I don't do nothing without putting it on my calendar. Yeah. Yeah. I put that on my calendar every Monday from 2 to 3 is my personal branding time. Okay. And then I put my Thursday afternoon golf. There you go. I play golf every Thursday afternoon. So at 3:00 in the afternoon, that's my personal time until then. Right. And and it's a hard stop. Hard stop. I'm not scheduling anything over it. Right. I don't care if you want to end it. I don't care, whatever. Yeah. I'm holding that time, Yeah, sacred, right? Sacred. And it makes me feel good. I love on Sundays when I start to plan, I put myself first. Like it means something. I've been like that since I was 8. I went and tracked back. That's when I got my first planner. Yeah. You always had to plan. She'll walk around with her planner. Have them sticky notes all over the place. She'll whip it out. Not Outlook, not the computer. No. That planner is law. That's right. That's right. That's right. So what is next for Talley and Twine? Are y'all trying to sell, or what are you trying to do? What's going on? So it's several things. One, we need to divest ourselves right now. Okay. I feel like that's the stage that we are of reducing risk and stress and all of those type things. Finding a third partner would be good. Okay. Take some of our risk off the table. Spread some of that out. Yeah. And personally, and the right thing I do for the owners, to keep the company and keep the fire
Yep.
going for a long time. I think there needs to be some of that, because if not, then you get into a position that you may outright sell.
Yeah.
Maybe earlier.
Right. I mean, you need to.
You need to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that piece of it. But that's the owner's piece there.
Yeah.
From a business perspective, we have been finding a lot of great traction with customized watches.
Yeah, they're so beautiful.
Yeah, with
my
organizations, whether it's companies, for gifting,
Yeah.
some of those things that's starting to be, I don't want to say a sizable part of our revenue, but we see that it's taking up more of our revenue percentage. So I think that's great. Our automatic watch is a big thing. It's about to put us squarely in the luxury space.
That's gonna be amazing.
Right? So it's a price point from $150 to $250 now to a price point that's $3,500. Right. So that is a huge jump for us.
That's gonna be amazing.
And so we'll be able to compete in the
Save my
Swiss
pennies
market.
now. That's pennies.
So I think that is gonna give us a little bit more credibility in the watch specific industry. And then growing our team, we're back in the scale phase. 22, 23 was in like hold what you got phase. Just like hold on. So now we're growing our team. We're starting to see like some real benefits of growing our team. We know how to grow our team better now too, more responsible, and it's a lean growth. Our focus just was growing, right? But we was growing and we had a lot of fat pockets, because it just was growing, just was eating everything.
Times were good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the table was full of stuff, right? So, but that dessert is probably better, tastes better than, the rice and beans.
Yeah.
Right. So you just gorging on all this stuff, and now you got a big belly and you got big legs, and you know what I'm saying? You grew, but you wasn't healthy.
Right.
It's a healthy growth.
Yeah.
So then you
that's a good analogy.
22 came, 21 came, into 21, 22, 23. Well, now you got to run to keep up. You got all this weight.
Why was it so hard, Aaron?
Man,
it was so hard.
It was a lot of things happened, right? It was a right sizing after COVID, right? Things got skewed heavily after COVID, and that was in our growth phase during COVID, right?
And ads got hard.
Ads got, decreased by 300% on their returns.
Yeah.
Right? After you scaled up to satisfy that 400, 500% return. And then I think the market just in general as discretionary spending kind of contracted a little bit more too. Companies were right sizing, so you had layoffs and it, not that people were destitute, but it was the unknown. Right? I don't know where I'm going to be, right? So you makes you more conservative, especially from a luxury product perspective.
Right.
That made a difference.
Right.
And then you had to right size the ship too. Right. So we, like I said, we were too big trying to run. And like, I need to
take some of this off.
Yeah, take some of that off. And then by taking some of that stuff off, that means I should stop. And I do burpees for the next 6 months. Before I can go any more down this road, I got to trim up, and staying disciplined there.
Y'all did so good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really tough, but that's one of the things I'm so proud of.
Yeah.
You guys did a lot of that stuff too.
We did.
I think you were in a healthier position.
We were. We saved. Y'all were spending more than we spent. Yes. We really saved a lot, which helped to carry us. But still, it was tough though.
Yeah,
it was tough.
I think your wholesale
helped.
That
Amazon helped.
Amazon helped. Like, so you had some other
channels.
That you could exploit.
Yeah.
So I think we were kind of handicapped by some of that too, which woke us up also. So now we're at a point that we're, cash flow positive.
Yeah. It's a good feeling, right?
It really is.
My goodness.
And we evolved our business model too.
Okay.
Right. So instead of going and getting a bunch of inventory to have on the shelf, so when you come to my store, you can buy it, we pre-sale.
Yeah.
Right.
That was golden.
I reduce the amount of time that I have to, receive the money or spend the money before I receive it.
Yeah.
So so first thing we did was reduce that time, and then we flip that time. Right. So I'm receiving before I spend. Right. I just was trying to reduce that time, and things started working. right? So now it's at a point that we're, okay, we have that, we swung the pendulum all the way over here. So now we can kind of ease it back.
Yeah.
You know, so we're investing into some more inventory to have on hand so we don't miss opportunities with right now people.
Right.
You know, we've cultivated that culture of the Jordan model, that where it's the scarcity model, you know, and that works for new watches, some of those type things, and exclusive watches that we have, which is
so
great.
beautiful.
But we also need to have some of our OGs kind of there and kind of invest in some of those type things.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's kind of where we're going. But yeah, I think when you talk about strategy and the big things, you know, we probably would look into divesting a little bit, adding an additional partner there.
Yeah.
And not an individual, but more of an entity partner. And I think that will fuel some
that makes sense.
bigger and better things.
I got one. Okay, you got anything to say? I got a hot topic for you.
Okay.
I can't wait. But go
I have
ahead.
a question, but it was taking it back to probably the beginning of the podcast.
Okay.
It's just been sitting.
Okay.
Okay, so Mom mentioned that you're really good at like networking.
Yes.
So, and I feel like networking takes a little bit of confidence.
It does.
Right?
It does.
Have you always been confident?
Yes. And that is my mother.
Yeah.
My mother instilled that in me at such a young age. Like, you're handsome, you can do anything you want, you're smart, you're intelligent. So, I mean, every morning I say that to my son too: you're smart, intelligent, successful, handsome black man. Every single morning.
Wow.
And that's what was given to me. So, yes, I'm confident. Do I have unconfident moments and all that? Yes. Am I unsure of myself? Yes. Do I stumble over words? Yes. Do I remember anybody's name? No. Right? You know, that's what it is. But I'm still confident who I am, you know, and the value that I bring and have, you know, just holistically. And so that doesn't make you, I mean, that's one of the elements of making you a good networker.
So what else makes you a good networker?
Understanding why I'm there. What am I trying to do? What am I trying to get? Who am I trying to talk to? Right? Having a plan. And being intentional about that.
You gotta listen.
You gotta listen.
People love to talk.
Yes.
And you just being there to listen.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listening to good question asking.
Yep. Right.
You know, ask those right questions and get them talking about themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then by them telling you about themselves, you extract everything that you need to direct the conversation going forward there. And then having a real good pitch. But early on, when I didn't have all of this stuff, now I have all this stuff to build upon. But when you're starting out and you don't have this whole thing to like present, I would have a nice, tight elevator pitch of who I am, and then ask them a question to get them to start talking. All right, once they start digging into you and you, I don't know about this, or I don't know about that, and you feel like an interview, you know, and that starts chipping away at your confidence, you know. But it's, you know, it's asking them about them, and being very understanding and inquisitive about the other person. It's more learning instead of like pitching.
I feel like you can meet people, like really cool people at the most seemingly random places, right? So like, let's say that, because we're planning on going to there's this yoga at the Battery every single Monday in April, right? And I found out because I'm like subscribed to some PR agencies. I'm just trying to see what's going on. Yeah. But like, you know, at this seemingly random place, how do you, I'm an introvert, so I'm not really sure how to approach people.
Hey,
like,
how you doing?
It's your first time? Yeah.
Yeah, compliment. Yeah, I like those shoes.
There you go.
You know, people always love a compliment.
Yeah. Love a compliment.
Always love a compliment. Because you're trying to network and not a networking event, right? So it's hard to be like, hey, how you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
You know, so there's one thing about that, but it's one thing about just like getting to know people. Right? You know, how would you get to know anybody else? Right? It's just, hey, how you doing? My name is, you know, so and so, you know. Oh, I see you have that Georgia Tech shirt. You go to Georgia Tech, you know. Oh, I see that. You know. So, but that's not intentional. That's kind of just like, so you're gonna take whatever comes your way, you know. And that's fine too. But you won't be able to kind of like that because yeah, I work at Walmart. Oh, okay. So see, I would caution about getting too locked in to a conversation too. You know, so that's the good thing. I mean, not a good thing, but the thing about networking is knowing when that conversation's enough. You know, and being able to not waste that much because you still only have a finite amount of time. And why are you there? Like, what you trying to network?
Yeah, having a plan is a really good thing. You mentioned when you walk in there, make sure you have a plan. This is what my goal is.
Yeah, I want to talk to these type of people. I want to talk to creators. I want to talk to them PR people. I want to talk to moms or dads. And then once you get that, then you can, okay, she looks like she's mom. Let me.
I think part of it is profiling, right?
Yeah,
and
that's
obviously,
right.
if I see someone with a tripod and they're recording themselves, I know that they're a content creator of some sort, right? So then that kind of gives me an idea.
That's right.
That there's same thing with like someone who may look more professional.
That's right.
Although you never know these things. The most random people are like millionaires or like doing these big things, and they just look like average Joes.
Yeah, and then another hack, if you're not really want to have that conversation, just hey, how you doing? Oh, nice meeting you. Okay, when you close it off, can I follow you? What platform you on? Right, and then once you see their platform, that tells you everything you need to know. So you don't have to give them you don't have to have a whole back and forth on questions and stuff. You just get their IG or you get their Facebook or whatever platform they're on, and then you do your research. Then if it's somebody that you look like you want to talk to or something like that.
Hey, I saw you so-and-so in there, right?
That takes that pressure off of trying to extract all the information out of them right there when you look like an interview.
Flipping back, last topic, as we are about out of time. Okay. Let's talk about making poor hiring decisions. I know it.
Poor hiring decisions.
Yes.
Poor hiring decisions are easier than good hiring decisions.
Yeah.
Really. And because you're small, we don't have all the rigors of things. And you really don't know who you hire until you get them in.
Right.
And all of those. We've learned a lot. So we have a different model. And different, I think you like to have your folks in, you hire them W-2 and all of those things. We don't do any W-2.
Okay.
All 1099, all freelance stuff. Right?
All right.
Now, I have some people that I may eye to like bring on a little tighter relationship, but you know, I use Upwork, right?
Okay.
And it's even a payment platform for me. You know, I can do that freelance. It makes the relationships a little bit more temporary.
Okay.
You know, at least up front, right? And then I can grow the relationship if it needs to go.
So what type of positions do you hire on Upwork? Or you feel on Upwork?
Most of my positions, the only things I really can't hire for there is my fulfillment manager. I've been struggling to find that person because I have to go to Indeed, and kind of so that opens up a different market of and they have to be local to that market in Portsmouth, Virginia. So there's different challenges that come with those physical hires. But we're a D2C company. I can hire people wherever.
Right.
So that has been a good source for us. I've done some LinkedIn stuff too. That's a little bit more successful, but they're going to be a little bit more professional type roles and want a different expectation. We found the freelance gig economy to be more suitable for what we're looking for.
Interesting. So like you're like accounting people, customer service people, graphic design, all of it on Upwork.
All of it Upwork.
Nice.
So my graphic design person I found on Upwork, but we have a relationship. He's still 1099. He's just, you see the invoice. I don't pay him through Upwork, but he's still 1099. Everybody's 1099. All the folks that are W-2 are me and Randy.
Got it.
Yeah.
I remember at one point you and I were both having challenges with our social media professional, right?
I haven't solved that yet. Still.
Yeah.
Have you solved that? You got a team doing it?
Well, it's so interesting. We have flip-flops. So at the time, we both had someone in who wasn't performing quite as well, right? So we let her go. And we using an agency for a while, but the agency doesn't understand our voice.
They don't.
That is the problem. So now we're not with the agency anymore. We're back to somebody in house.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the approach that we're going to take now, we'll see, is we have an outside person, not an agency, but outside person who is a professional. They used to work at TikTok and Snapchat and all that. They're going to run in an audit for us, and then they're going to manage that person for us. So they're going to kind of set the standards, and they're going to manage our in-house person. We're going to try that approach.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to the approach that we had too.
Okay.
I hired more of a marketing manager.
Yeah.
Through Upwork, still 1099.
Okay.
She had a few other clients.
Yeah.
Individual, but I can teach them my voice. They
right.
Can be,
right.
You know, they kind of pseudo.
Right.
Not an agency, but they got, you know, on the team. And then I have a marketing coordinator.
Okay. Very similar.
That executes on the work.
Yep. Exactly.
And then they'll lay out a content calendar for me.
Right.
And all of those type things.
Right.
And that was great. And then she was awesome. And then she left and got a job. So now I got to find somebody to put in their place. But
got you.
At least I have a mechanism to kind of put things through. So right now, the most of my work has been trying to build this team. Hiring. I mean, I got 5 open probably rates that I'm trying to fill it right now.
Wow.
That just takes up my time. Interviews, 3-4 interviews a day.
That's a lot. Well, let's talk about it because maybe someone listening. So you need a fulfillment manager.
So I'm looking for a fulfillment manager to come and do our fulfillment. You know, all things that goes in that with the Shopify platform. Yeah. And I tell folks in my interviews, you can either want to grow with me and come and do fulfillment that grow into inventory and procurement, and you can start doing purchase orders, and all of those type things. Or you can just come and put your headphones on and get stuff out of the door.
Yeah. Up to you.
Either one of them works for me. So that, then I'll have a helper, or call it assembler, and they'll assemble watches.
Okay.
So I have both of those open. Then I have that marketing manager type person that's still available, and I still have a marketing coordinator. I haven't sought for that role yet. Been interviewing for that open. I need an additional graphic designer that's there.
Okay.
I mean, I got a photographer that I just figured out is going to leave at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Gave me a lot of time, so greatly appreciate that. But I'll need to find, and I feel like I want photographers, multiple people to do some cool stuff for us. And then I need a chief of staff.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
You know, across, because I am still a fractional COO, so Talley and Twine company, Render ATL is another company. I probably would look to add another company there. So having some infrastructure under me would be good. Yeah. And I'm probably missing another role or two off the top of my head, but those are the roles that I'm actively
looking for. Well, not to pitch Sydney, but if you need graphic design, that's what she does.
You may know that.
Yes. Yeah. That's what she does.
That'd be great.
Yep. So y'all may want to talk after the show.
That'd be good. See?
Yeah.
I'm ready. See, podcast.
Yeah.
A lot of traction, right?
And what I'll do is I'll see how because that's what he's going to do is be my marketing coordinator. He is going to be 1099. He's his own person. And he's going to do our audit, put together our strategy. And then my assistant's going to follow his strategy and do the content calendar. He's going to review the calendar and then meet with us every month and provide us metrics, see how we're executing against the calendar. So if he works out well, I'll send him your way.
Please.
Yep.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah,
that'd be great. So those are the type of things we're looking at. I'm excited about our intern program.
Talk about it.
So over the last year, we've had Albany State University with the official sponsor of the athletic program. So we sponsor basically all the teams in the athletic program. So in doing that, we would activate 3 times in the year, one in the fall, one in the winter, and one in the spring. So a part of that, what we did was we engaged the College of Business to say, hey, I want you some marketing interns. I want to put it out to see if people want to help us with this, right? So for homecoming, we had a bunch of interns that came, and it was very good, right? Some of them bubbled up to the top. And for basketball homecoming, we did the same thing. Some of them bubbled up to the top. And then for the spring we just came from, We saw what we had. It's like, wow, it would be great to have a deeper relationship with these young people to give them, everything, what we're doing, experience, entrepreneurship. And then also maybe they come and do some great stuff for us, right? But it's, it's time, resources, and all those type things. But now we're adding some of these people. I have a project manager, I got another office manager. Oh, I need sponsors, office manager.
It's always something.
It's always. So I have a team now that can help execute on it. I can give them a vision, and then they can go execute on that vision, right? And they bring me back updates on what's going on.
That's great.
And I send them direction. So it's allowed us to get deeper into that type of stuff. Now I still have to sell the price tag on that. That's why it's good to have a partner so we can kind of go back and forth on what that is. But, it's open up opportunities to do those type things. And then we also do part-time. Everybody's part-time for us.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that's also how we manage it. We cap hours a week.
Got you.
Right? So then I can manage my budget. Then I can ebb and flow it. Okay, this week maybe a lot more stuff that we have.
Yeah.
I can raise numbers, stuff like that. So
got you.
I can have a lot of people, but I can keep my payroll number,
nice and consistent.
healthy. Yeah.
That's nice.
So that's kind of how we've evolved and managed that, because we were just trying to hire people at one time. Then they may not been paying them for more than they were producing, and we just couldn't understand that model.
Yeah.
So I think we've kind of got a more transient model right now. And then we'll see who bubbles up to the top.
Right.
Bring them a little closer, and then we don't lose that institutional knowledge.
Right. That makes sense. I love so much. I love the growth and the journey of it all. We're going to wrap up, but we got to have you back. This is like be like a every 6 month sort of thing. Where are you now? Type of thing.
This is great.
Yeah.
The conversation now is totally different than it was 6 months.
Exactly.
6 months before that.
It's 6 months before that.
Yeah. I would love that. Would be cool. We can document how we're doing.
That's be so great. I love. All right, Eric. Where can people find you online?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Eric Heyward. Search for me. That's probably
that's the best place. Yes.
And our business website.
Talley and Twine, tallyandtwine.com.
Gorgeous watches.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah.
I see it on the shirts.
Yeah.
Just like that. And then Render ATL is the tech conference that we have. That is June 13th through 15th.
Okay.
Where we have Black and Brown technical professionals come in and network with each other, get some great opportunities to get exposure to 70 Fortune 500 companies that come and sponsors us, and then also just get some great knowledge from some great speakers that we have too. So you're definitely invited.
I would love to.
And you should definitely come.
Yeah.
Mark it on your calendar now.
Okay, 13th or 15th, I got it.
Yes, it's right here in Atlanta at the Mayor's Market.
Okay, nice.
So I think it'll be a great time for you. I think you'll explain.
Yes, geek out. I'm about to say geeking out. I love it. It's so easy to fall right back into it.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. And you've got AI track. Next time we talk about AI in our business.
Oh, we got to. I love it.
I got a lot about that.
Oh man. Okay, cool. All right. But thanks so much for joining us. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for listening to Leaf Notes. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and drop a like and a comment letting us know what your takeaway was. And if you're just listening, head over to social media after taking a screenshot and tag us letting us know what your takeaway was. If you want to give us a rating, head over to your favorite podcast app and give us a 5-star rating or let us know what you think. This will help us connect with more business owners and creatives just like you. And with that being said, we hope that your business takes root and grows, and we'll see you next time.